What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT, That's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Today, we want to talk about what they don't tell you before marriage. I know a lot of you out there that's probably married, going to get married, thinking about marriage, or don't never want to get married. This episode is for you. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today, let's talk about what they don't tell you before marriage. So listen, every situation that you go into, they start to prepare you. When you go to school, preschool, they teach you your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s, different things you should know going into grade school so they can prepare you for school and what's to come. Even when you're on a football team or you're in a basketball team, you are practicing, you catching the ball, throwing the ball, going to camp, going to practice. You building up your skills for the next level. So you go from high school to college, and some people go on to pro, and they end up winning championships and getting all these accolades like MVPs. But that's something that they're practicing for. That's something that they are preparing for. If you go into college, you go into high school, and you're preparing to get this degree to take care of yourself for the rest of your life, or it's an entrepreneurship that you're going into, that you're practicing to get these skills to be able to take care of yourself, you're preparing yourself for what's to come. But when it comes to marriage, we seem to not prepare for what's to come. We go into it just saying, I'm going to do it and figure it out along the way. How are you preparing yourself if you want to get married or you're going into a marriage? And sometimes our parents, our friends, our mentors don't tell us what we need to know going into marriage or things to expect. So let's break it down. All right. So I'm going to go to my notes. I'm going to be going back and forth with my notes. Fairy tale versus facts. See, social media, yes, TV, movies, film, people around you, they paint this perfect picture of marriage and what they depict as a perfect marriage. They'll show it to you, right? The hugs, the love, the kisses, the no arguing, the getting along, all the rose petals, right? They don't talk about nothing else. They don't talk about the facts, they talk about the fun. That's what they talk about, the fun. The facts is you might come in one day and you might not want to talk to this person. You might not love this person at that moment. Not saying that you don't love them or you don't care about them. You just don't love them at that moment. You might be upset with them at this time. It might be a disagreement that come up that y'all kind of figure out how to get this together in order to work together so you can move down the road instead of setting you back. They don't talk about the personal issues. Their personal issues become your issues. Because y'all all together now. These different things that they don't talk about, and sometimes we're not made aware exactly of these things that's going on. So, the fairy tales. A couple of things they don't tell you. Love is a choice more than a feeling. The attraction fades, but commitment must remain. The communication isn't natural, it's a skill. These are things they don't tell you about. Things that you learn along the way. And you can learn those things if you don't rush into it. Yes, peer pressure. Oh, she pregnant, you should get married. Oh, y'all look like a good fit together. Y'all should get married. What y'all waiting for? Y'all young. Y'all should get married. So let me, because I'm gonna tell you how serious this is, and y'all know I love to use scriptures, and this is a scripture. It's Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husband, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Man, that's deep. To sacrifice like that. So once you get into marriage, you need to be taking it serious. You need to be taking the person that you get married to. You need to be making that decision one of the most serious, one of the most important decisions of your life. This is going to be one of the most important decisions of your life. Because if it fall apart, it's going to split your life in half. So, a couple of things. Before I say I do. Before you say I do, a couple of things, man, to think about. Before you get married, you need to know more than what their favorite color is. You need to know how they act once they get upset. How do they treat their mother? How do they treat their father? How do they treat older people? How do they treat people at a restaurant? Are they rude to the waitress, or they rude to somebody that they think is beneath them? How do they act? Do you know those things about them? Or you only see the good side? You haven't never been in a setting where you see the other side of them. That's all you want to know, their favorite color, what they like to eat? Do you know how they handle money? Because y'all money might be together, and it be some things y'all might be paying for together. And if they not good with handling their money, or they not good with budgeting, or they don't even want, they might want to just spend their money. They might not want to put no money back. They might be trapped in materialism, and they want to spend their money on clothes, shoes, trips. They want to spend it. Not, am I saying anything wrong with it? With buying those things? No. But I do think you have to have a game plan when doing it. Now, this right here is just a couple of things. I'm no marriage counselor. I'm no guru at marriage or nothing like this. It's just a couple of things I wish somebody would have pulled my coattail or told me about before I did it. And what does forgiveness look like to them? Saying I'm sorry. Can they say I'm sorry? Do they have emotional buildup from a past relationship? Or do they have emotional drama from their parents, auntie, or uncle, mom, and dad did or didn't do enough, didn't give them a hug, didn't love them? You looking at all those? Are you looking at all those things? Or is the sex just good? And, because as a man, you really going to give up. You really going to give up a lot and sacrifice a lot for this relationship. So you want to be with somebody that it really is going to mean something to you. And that's another thing. Have you ever saw that person angry? How they act when they angry? Because some people, when they act, the way that they act when they're angry, they hit below the belt. They say some things that's hurtful and don't want to apologize. Have you ever witnessed that? So these are some things or some questions you might want to ask. Not only ask, you want to see how they act in certain situations. You might want to put them in them situations. Not saying that you are trying to be a butt or whatever, but you trying to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck moving forward. Y'all can laugh all you want to, but this is a serious decision. Who you sharing your DNA with? Your children. Have you looked at their parents to see what issues, what problems that they might have? That is going to trickle down to your child. It's going to trickle down to your children, some of those issues. Are you looking at all that? That's some things that you have to think about, because I'm going to tell you, when you young, the sex good, she better not be sexual competitive, and y'all just having all this sex, and the head might not be good, and she real freaky, and you like, man, you ain't looking at all that other stuff. You just got the rose-colored glasses on where loving eyes can't see. But those sexual glasses blind you to a lot of things. So when you start to get older and you want to change and you see that, you be like, dang, all I got is sex. That's it. I didn't look at nothing else. Mothers don't want to clean up, don't want to budget. They barely want to do anything for me as a husband. Now all I got is sex. Some guys be okay with that, And if that's what you want to do, cool. But as you get older and you mature, yeah, sex is good. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, is that going to be your main focal? That's going to be the main focal point of your marriage. I got this right here in my notes, is that compatibility is easy when everything's good. But marriage starts showing its true colors when the storms come. Man, that's true. And I'll follow up with this scripture coming from Proverbs 24:27. Put your outdoor work in order. Get your fields ready. After that, build your house. Yes. After that, build your house. Get yourself together first. We have a lot of things, and like even as men, and this is just a little side note, man, just think about this. If you have been building up you have been very sexual, different, your appetite, your sexual appetite, you got a huge sexual appetite, right? So just like you like having sex with different women. You might like yellow bone, you might like black, you might like Asian. You used to having sex with all these different women, all different shapes and sizes. They do all kind of freaky stuff. And then now you got to get married. So now you got to get married. And you have this appetite build up for all these different type of women, all this different type of sex you have with these women. Plus, you've been running to all these freaks. Now you got to subtract all the women all the way down to one, and you want her to be able to fulfill the appetite. If you plan on getting married, you might want to start pulling back from doing all that. Just start, cause see, I'm gonna tell you this, and a lot of guys, they might laugh at me about this, but you never know how to deal with a woman's cycle until you get married. Because when you have different women, you're not messed up if a woman on a cycle. You just go to the next one. I go to the next one. I go to the next one because I don't have to deal with it. So now you got married. Now you got to wait until that's over with, and you got to deal with that. So that's something that you might not even think about. We be laughing and joking, but you don't be thinking about none of that stuff. You don't think about after she had a baby, she got to wait so long before she had sex. You don't think about, she might be feeling tired this day or might be feeling some type of way and she don't want to do nothing. We only think about, I had a different girl for each one of them. So if she having issues, I just go on to the next one. It don't be no problem. And a lot of us think marriage will fix our loneliness, our lust, and our identity problems. But let me be real with you. Marriage doesn't fix your issue, it exposes them. So everything that you're trying to hide, your insecurities will start to come out once you get married. That one woman, she goes somewhere, oh man, I ain't know how, I don't like it, man looking at my woman, those will start to come out. That loneliness that you had, that you thought that, I'm gonna get married, I ain't gonna feel lonely no more. That's why I said in that verse to fix yourself. That habit that you got, that drinking, that smoking weed, those right there, those things get more exposed when you get the one person, because there's one person around you almost all the time, and they learning you and seeing how you are in and out, all the habits that you are, how undisciplined you are, the loneliness, the insecurities, the mama issues, the daddy issues, everything starts to seep out when you marry, and that person is witnessing it firsthand. So there's a lot of stuff you got to start working with on yourself. You can't get with somebody and think that whatever's wrong with you, they're going to be able to fix it. They're not. You're going to have to be able to fix it yourself going into that situation. And then let's be honest. Certain stuff with certain people, that's just how they are. Certain things you're going to have to deal with. There's no perfect person. You're going to deal with something from everybody that you get with. You're going to deal with something. It just depends on what you want to deal with when you get with that person. But everybody got a hang up. Everybody got issues. Nobody's perfect. And I'm going to leave you with this right here. Luke 6:45. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Marriage is like a mirror showing what's in your heart. For real. It's going to come out within your partner. It's going to be a reflection of you. I hate to say it. A lot of people don't believe it, but I ain't saying all the time, but majority of the time, a reflection of you is going to be a mirror of what your partner is. Well, whoever you married to is gonna be a reflection. Dang, they doing that. I guess I'm like that. Dang, they doing that. I'm inconsistent. They inconsistent. You might could cover yours up a little bit better, but they inconsistent. Sometimes the stuff that you do will start rubbing off on them. Might not be at that time, but it'll start rubbing off on them. So a lot of people go into a relationship and start to cheat and wonder why the other person cheat. You did it. They learn from you. You wonder why the other person doing some of the foul stuff that you thought they shouldn't be doing because you don't do it nothing, but you the one taught them. You the one taught them. So, and here's a myth about marriage. When they say, well, the man's supposed to pay all the bills and the man's supposed to do this and I don't want to do no 50-50 relationship. Man, when you go into a relationship, it ain't, when you going into a marriage, if you looking at it like that, you're not going to be married for long. Man, when it comes to marriage, I'm going to be honest with you. You never know what's going to happen. One minute you can be up. You can be the breadwinner. You can be doing everything that need to be done. Then something could easily happen like that. You can lose your job. You can lose your business. Your health can go down. It ain't nothing that you can necessarily control, and those things happen, and then your wife might have to step up. Your husband might need to step up. So you mean to tell me because this person hit a rough patch, y'all supposed to be married and looking out for each other, but as soon as they hit a rough patch, I can't do this no more. I can't do this. It's a lot of people that as soon as their spouse got sick, they left. Soon as their spouse became, they was bedridden, they left. They got a terminal illness, they left. They lost their money, they left. So don't get into a marriage just thinking, it's going to be sunshine all the time. But when the rain come, here you go, I want to leave. As soon as it get tough, I want to leave. See, a lot of people, soon as they marriage hit that point to really see who they're made of, they leave. What kind of cloth are you really cut from? A lot of guys, their wife got sick, took off. Women, husband got sick, took off. And see, and this goes into this. 1 Corinthians 13:7. Love bears all things, believe all things, hope all things, endure all things. Marriage is not about who's doing more. It's about both being committed even when it's uneven. Because you're not always going to be up and they not always going to be up. You best believe that's how marriage go. And if when you up, you want to dog the other person while they down, or you want to be controlling, you want to do all those things, you best believe when it's their turn, if God has really worked on them, then you might not experience it. But if God haven't worked on them and they don't have a relationship with God, when they get up, you best believe they're going to treat you the same way you did them. Same way. Same way. That's why I said it is so important to make sure you make a good choice with who you get married to, and you find out as much as you can about this person before you get married to them. Because, man, you can't predict what people gonna do, how they gonna do things. You just never know. You just never know. And still going into that, stop expecting perfection and start looking at effort. See, we can say we want our wife or we want our husband to be perfect, right? But just think about this. If that person is perfect, all your imperfection gonna start to show if they're perfect. Some people, I'm not saying everybody, but some people see their spouse doing or being productive. They will try to do something to sabotage that so they don't have to step up their game. They don't have to step up their game. I don't want you to be like that. If you see that your spouse is trying to be productive, they're trying to do something better, they're trying to move the relationship forward, Put in some effort and try to meet them there where they're going. And don't beat somebody up because they're not moving at the pace that you are moving at. Everybody got their own race. Everybody got their own time to do stuff. And I'm not saying you got to wait forever. But if they put in the effort towards trying to get better or trying to do better, give them props for that. Don't tear them down, say you not where I'm at. So I don't, Because we can look, okay, they didn't start to work out. Instead of saying, oh, well, you ain't doing as much as me. You need to be up here with me. At least they starting to work out. At least they starting to do a little something. At least they starting to do a little something. And we end up looking at social media, looking at other relationships, thinking our relationship needs to be like that, thinking our spouse needs to be like that. You don't need to compare your spouse to anybody else because they're your spouse. They're half of you. So if the other half of you is doing bad, what you gonna do? Just cut it out, leave it alone, talk about it? No. You're gonna motivate to make that other part of you just as good as that you. So you want to make both parts as a whole great. And by y'all being great, it's going to be y'all working together and doing what y'all need to do as a team moving forward. And I'll tell you this, that, I said it earlier, and some people don't believe this, but, sex is important in a marriage. But if all you got is sex, sometimes you don't connect on another level. When y'all go out, y'all just going to be bored. Y'all just going to be looking at each other crazy. If y'all ain't got nothing other than sex, no conversation, nothing to stimulate the mind outside of that. No great thinking, no great problem solving. We just going to have sex and that's going to solve everything. It's not. You can have makeup sex. And while you doing it, it's going to calm it down, but that problem's still going to be there. Those issues still going to be there. Everything's still going to be going on regardless. So you can just try to cover it up. That'll mask it for a little bit, but the problem is still going to be there. And all it's going to do is start to pile on top of each other and get bigger and bigger because you haven't addressed it. You just want to address it with sex. The other thing that people don't really talk about is just for the men is providing. The pressure to provide for your family, to make sure that, and see, it ain't so much a pressure. I put it to you like this. This one thing that people not gonna tell you once you do it is the attacks that come along with it. Attacks from single people that they don't want to get married. Then the people that are jealous of you being married. See, they don't talk about the things that they'll do to try to make sure that your marriage don't work. Oh, let's go out. Let's do this. Study trying to pull you away from your spouse because they don't cherish it. And the enemy definitely don't want marriage. Why do I want you to be able to have a stable home? We can bring up stable children that are love God and want to live this productive life, and they want to potentially get married. No, I want you to go down where y'all hate each other, y'all don't like each other. You got baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, and the child stuck in the middle and confused on what they should do. Then put that child out there to repeat the cycle. That's what they want. So the attacks, even from the people that been married for a while and they see that you have a good marriage, they say, well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be going through that. I wouldn't be taking that if I was you. But that's your marriage and that's what you want to do for your marriage. Not what they want to do or not what they want, but what you need to do for your own marriage. Yeah, it's constant. It's constant attacks. And see, I don't think a lot of people just talk about that and let people know about it. Then, what rules are you putting in place to protect your marriage? See, they got all kind of laws and they got all kind of rules. They got rules up at your job so you might not hurt yourself or You have to interact with your coworkers or customers a certain way. They got laws that even when you driving, that you got to have insurance on your car to cover your car, and you got to make sure that you following the rules of the highway, or you might get a ticket and you might get fines for that. But what are the rules that they set up for marriage? What are the rules you setting up for your marriage to protect your marriage? Because we'll go into this situation thinking that, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. We'll never set up no rules and regulation on stuff that both of us have to abide by to make sure that this is working properly. To make sure that this is working properly. So now that we don't have any rules or parameters set up where we don't need to do this or we don't need to do that, or we not gonna go here, we not gonna go there. Since you don't have it, it's a free fall. And since y'all didn't have a discussion with somebody do something, you hurt, but it was never no rules to go by. That person never did know that they can't take it that far. Or this person didn't know they can't do that. So what kind of rules are you setting up to protect your marriage? Because other people on the outside, they don't care. They're going to do whatever, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. As long as you're letting them come in and do that, they're going to disrespect your spouse. They're going to disrespect your husband, disrespect your wife, because you don't have those rules and you don't have those things in place to protect what you have. And then another thing, like, just going into it, you have to learn how to fight. See, somebody talking about, yes, when you go into boxing, they training you on how to fight. They training you how to fight. Going into boxing, you just can't take somebody just fresh off the streets and put them in there with a professional boxer and expect them to win. Do y'all know how to fight going into? Because sometimes you hit below the belt, or you might say something about somebody's mom, about somebody's dad, or something that they reveal to you that's personal, and you say it and you hurt them. Now they come around, they got a grudge against you because of that. But see, now I'll tell you all this thing just going into it, it's just going to be fairy tales. You're not going to have to do any of these things. It's going to be work that's going to be put in. Because just like I told you, if you want to be a professional in any sport or professional in any business, you have to practice. You're going to have to understand. You're going to have to work towards getting there. Because once you get there, you plan on doing it for a while. So the same thing that you go and you put your time, you have to put your time into considering who you marrying. When you get married, how you going to do things? How you going to do that? Am I saying you're going to have everything figured out at first? No. But you should have an idea on how you want things to go. You should be practicing on this how I want it to be. In order to have it in longevity, you have to think about it just like that. You have to have goals set for your marriage, just like you got goals set for your career, just like you got goals set for yourself. You have to have goals set for your marriage, because if you don't have goals set for your marriage, all of a sudden you're not working towards nothing. You don't know how you want it to look like. You don't know what you want it to look like, or you don't know how you want it to be. So what are you working towards? You just doing this just to be doing it? Okay. Mark 10:9. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separates. That includes you. Don't let your pride divide what God tried to unify. It's you, your spouse versus the problem. Not the problem. Okay. It's you and your spouse versus the problem, not you versus your spouse. See, love will always get tested through sickness, health, death do you part. It can get tested in sickness. It can get tested when y'all get broke and the bills don't get paid. How much you really care for this person when they make a mistake in the marriage. When they make a mistake when y'all dating or when y'all going together. And at the end of the day, man, marriage is just bigger than an Instagram post. Marriage is bigger than just the venues, the fancy wedding, or even the honeymoon. It's bigger than that. And see, when most people put more planning into getting married than the actual marriage. Put more planning in your actual marriage than the wedding. So everybody want to have this extravagant wedding. Um, the bridesmaids and the grooms and everybody have these parties and all this. They do all this lavish stuff, plan all of it out. I'm planning my wedding. Some people plan their wedding out for a year. I got time. Everybody can book their trip. They plan it out. But when it comes to their marriage, they don't plan nothing. Now we just gonna get together and figure it out. See, a lot of people right now are looking at maybe you are married or you looking to get married, and if you married, and people are looking at it like, I want to be like that. Some people are watching you that you don't even know watching you. Some people are looking to for their marriage to be just like your marriage. They want to copy exactly what you're doing. Then how you love your spouse, it shows your children how they should love. See, we always arguing, bickering, and fighting and doing all this. We think our children start to think that that's love. They'll start to think, well, that's how it's supposed to be. And they'll find themselves in those type of relationships. So what you're doing and the person that you're choosing is important because the future generations behind you is going to pattern their marriage or pattern their life after you. And I'm going to say this, man. I'm not saying marriage is easy. I'm saying it's worth it. When you walk in God, wisdom, and real understanding, it is. And so, man, I'm not saying don't get married. I'm not saying if somebody you care for and that's what you want to do. What I'm saying is just take your time. Take your time. Make sure you understand yourself. Make sure you get yourself together before you bring somebody else in. Then make sure you examine the other person to make sure that this would be compatible for you to go in the future with. Then plan for that future going forward, man. Make sure you praying, putting God first. You putting God first. You praying and make sure this is the right thing you're supposed to do. All right? Appreciate y'all listening, tuning in. If you want to reach me outside of here, social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Real Men Talk Podcast. If you want to reach me personally, Stan the Man, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Until next week, appreciate y'all. Look, if there's anybody y'all want to see on here, let me know. Y'all can inbox me. If there's any subjects that you want to hear me talk about, inbox me and let me know. Or drop something in the comments and we'll go from there. All right? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next week, peace.